Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the extended monthly forecast general reading for Sagittarius. This is for the month of April 2018. You can look forward to your mid-month check-in in the middle of April. Until then, we're going to be doing a 7-card horseshoe spread today, using the bottom of the deck for general energy, and then as always, drawing a card each from the 4 oracle decks here to find out any additional messages or themes for you for the month. So I hope this finds everyone well. I'm just going to shuffle until I get a little bit of a feeling in my hands or fingers, as it were, to stop shuffling, and then we'll split the deck and get your cards out for you. So what does Sagittarius need to know for April 2018? What are messages for Sagittarius 2018, month of April? Messages for Sagittarius, April 2018. And there we are. All right, so the bottom of the deck for you is transformation. This is the death card. This is a major arcana card. It's just basically something that pretends an absolute end to something, but it also means an absolute beginning to something else. But the door has been closed permanently on something here for you, Sagittarius. Again, this is a general reading. So please apply these messages to whatever is a pressing concern or issue for you for the month. But with regard to what is your concern or issue this month for you, in April, something is coming to an end, and because it is the potent energy of a major arcana card, this is really just saying it's inescapable, right? It doesn't necessarily mean a physical death. It can, depending on your situation, but chances are it doesn't, unless you're actually dealing with palliative care at this time, or someone who's got health issues or otherwise. Outside of that, we're just looking at a situation or a theme or a project, a relationship, etc. Something coming to an end here permanently, okay? So the door is closing on something here, but rest assured something else comes after it. Another way to look at this as well is that it can be quite a beautiful card. We can use the example of the seed, okay? The seed breaks open and is no longer a seed. It becomes something else, but it will never be the seed again, okay? And that's all it's saying. It's an advancement in many ways, okay? It just means that what was will never be again. All right, so let's get your cards laid out for you. As I said, we're using the horseshoe spread today. And this is just looking at sort of hidden influences, where your mind is with regard to a situation, what's surrounding you, that type of thing. So let's just get your cards out here. Just 2 more. So there is a lot of water in your reading this month. Of course, water, the element water, we're looking at emotions. You could be dealing with a lot of emotions this month, exploring a lot of emotions this month. Someone who, if it isn't you, you will be surrounded by at least one person who is emotionally capable or experienced here. If it is you, and could be a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, him or herself, someone who's probably over 30, someone who's a little bit older or at least wiser, within the realm of emotions and emotional intelligence, for example. This is also about feelings. It can be about romance as well. So let's get into it. The first card for you, representing your past, is the King of Fire. So this is really passionate energy, but it's also someone who is at the pinnacle of perhaps spiritual enlightenment here. This is your recent past. This could be you. It could be you are a Sagittarius, so this is a fire sign, right? So this could be you. You have reached the pinnacle of sort of spiritual success here, Sagittarius, or at least an understanding of the love, compassion, commitment, loyalty, truth, that type of thing. That's involved with a full heart here. That's involved with, absolute enlightenment. And if this has to do with that, it's almost like you've been enlightened to something here that's caused an end to something. It could be that you've gleaned information or followed through with a project until it's finality, and it's bettered you. This situation or experience has bettered you. And if this is another person in your environment, this is another Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries in your environment who is helping you, or has helped rather you through these processes and through these changes. So great deal of a personal enlightenment here, something that you're probably going to begin acting on or are already in the process of acting on. So here we have a queen. We do have two kings. We have a queen, lots of water, and like I said, these could be players, individuals in your environment. If that's the case, you could be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn here. If that's the case, this is in your presence, someone you're dealing with, someone who's probably really good with finances, really good with growing of any sort, right? Growing relationships, growing trust, growing levels of commitment, project management, someone who works with their hands or is happy to work with their hands or get their hands dirty, so to speak, in order to produce something here, in order to actualize something here. So someone who's also very wise about cyclical nature and about nature itself, someone who's very comfortable in nature. And again, if this isn't a person outside of you that you're dealing with in your environment, this would represent you in your present situation. In the hidden influences is the Nine of Water. So we're dealing with the Nine of Cups here. This is really just self-satisfaction, feeling really comfortable and confident within the realm of the emotions, as we were saying. It could feel that you are dealing with the treasures of the heart, dealing with the treasures of emotion, feeling really comfortable. Maybe it's through the process of this, for example, of coming through something that you can see this for yourself. And maybe you were in denial about this originally, or you didn't think it was available to you. And it's saying, as a hidden influence position card, this is available to you. Maybe you aren't paying enough attention to it. Maybe you aren't aware of this, or how much feeling emotionally secure and fulfilled and even established here is lending to a period of not only accomplishment, but also of a surety, like feeling even if you don't have something right now, it will be coming to you. So there's a sense of peace that comes with this as well. Another hidden influence element of the Nine of Cups is feeling as though there's the treasure could be a fulfillment of desire here as well, just because I see a rushing ahead. I see the soulmates card here. And then, of course, some more water, someone who's quite mature here. This could very well have to do with a relationship, either walking away from one or having it transformed into something that is stronger, more resilient, more passionate, that type of thing. So either way, a door has been closed. And if it is about the fulfillment and the actualization of a relationship here, and you're growing within one, this is going to benefit both of you. Both of you are feeling this type of fulfillment energy here. Desires fulfilled, dreams fulfilled, that type of thing. So really lovely to see that in your hidden influences position. In the card representing you this month, we have the Eight of Fire. This is where we're looking at directive energy. Something is in motion here. Something is being, another, like it's hurtling type thing. Like something, it's like ding, 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 like there's no stopping it here, but it's this is almost like another element of passion as well. I would say the Nine of Water is like emotional passion, fulfillment, desires, so forth. And this would be sort of the actualization of it, bringing it into fruition, or at least giving it life, right? The element of fire, bringing it life, bringing it, this essence here in your recent past. It's like you're able to pull what you've learned here or what you've gathered here and, started to be able to behave this way. So it's actually really lovely to have in the card representing you, because it's a very successful card. I mean, this pretty much guarantees success. You've begun something you believe in strongly. You're clearly on your way toward it, and now it's like gathered momentum type thing. So great deal of momentum and energy behind you this month, Sagittarius. Really lovely to see this. So, and you must believe really strongly in something here to go through with it as well. So I would say that these two are in conjunction. You know, the King of Fire, very passionate knowledge of the knowledge of passion materialized, you know. Of course, here in the influence of others is the Two of Cups, and this is one of the soulmate cards. Of course, the other one in the tarot would be the Lovers. But in the traditional tarot, I'd say that this has more of a meeting of the minds. This is more of a spiritual bent as opposed to the Lovers, which might just be about, you know, the act, okay, or the intention. I think the Two of Cups is really speaking about, you know, your equals here. This isn't about opposites attract so much as it is about, like minds gather type thing. So it's a little bit, in that sense, a little bit of an opposition. It doesn't mean that you aren't opposites in some way and that isn't what attracted you in the first place, but there is a common ground here within the soulmate relationship or within the understanding within the relationship. So again, this could be happening in your own environment, to you, by you. If that's the case, you're learning more about yourself here. You're becoming more at peace with who you are and what you stand for and what you have to offer and what you are willing to accept. And if this does have to do with a relationship really of any kind, it's a meeting of the mind, the heart, and the soul here. It's like a complete, there's a completeness here. And I think the main or key theme behind the Two of Cups would be, mutual respect. It would be like an equality that's really important. Again, I think this is playing in with the Nine of Cups here, which is really just all about that desire and then following through with it and, the meeting of the minds. So there could be, if it is relational, it's like you've gotten to another level within the relationship that you're quite pleased about. Herein, what you should do is the King of Water. This is your second king, as I mentioned. This could be, as I said early on, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces in your environment, or in the first 5 planets of someone that you're dealing with. Or if it's not, it could have that type of energy. So someone who is possibly psychic, someone who has a lot of emotional intelligence here, someone who has an emotional aptitude to get through to you, someone who's gentle with you, but also someone who's experienced and has a lot to offer and provide here. So in terms of what you should do in that position, I think it's just asking that we're mature enough here to maybe let go of petty disappointments, disagreements, someone who falls short of what you expected of them, someone who isn't seeing the world through the same lens as you're seeing it, that type of thing. It's like to be a little bit forgiving and aware of someone who may be falling short. And certainly if they aren't and you're putting this pressure on yourself, it would be, to be easy on yourself and be gentle with yourself at this time. Maybe show some compassion. And try to rise above something here. Here with your final outcome card is the Four of Water. This is where we're looking at a slight disappointment maybe, or maybe just not seeing the forest for the trees, maybe looking for problems, finding them type thing. So you can see that she's sort of looking at the one pearl, but there are 3 more around her. So it's almost like there's an over focus on something, even if it is working. It could be a denial of what isn't working as well. So be patient with yourself through this period and with others if that's the case. You do, and you see it back here, with your hidden influences. It's almost like perhaps you're not seeing what's right in front of you, or seeing what you already have, or appreciating what you already have, or saying, yes, we've reached this level, or I've reached this thing, I've come through something, what's next, right? Because we have this, like go, go, go. And it could just be, April could be a really nice time for you to pay some homage to where you are right now, okay? And I know it's probably difficult to hear and practice as a Sagittarian, because as the Archer, right, and as a fire sign, you're interested. Your natural propensity is to keep seeking, okay? But there could be some value this month for you, Sagittarius, in taking stock, for example, in what you do have, what you have achieved, what you are in process of, what you're carrying forward, what has just been established or cemented or confirmed, etc. So it could just be like maybe do a little bit of assessment. This month might be something that's going to help free you from this constant future, right? This constant what's next, or and it's not that seeking or the Archer as an archetype is a bad thing. It's not what I'm saying. It's just that sometimes it is wise to pause, or at least there's an opportunity to pause here to glean something, because there's a rush, right? Like you're going full force, head force, and full tilt into something here that may require, right, some emotional intelligence, some compassion, some meeting of the minds and hearts, some element of equality here, or matchmaking, maybe a making up could be a theme here as well. And stay compassionate and gentle with you and the other party if that's the case. And count your blessings, look at the whole picture. Try not to be disappointed here. If you find you are, another way to get past this is to examine what your motivations are and what your expectations are, okay? And a really nice way of doing that is to make a list for yourself and not the other person. That sounds counterintuitive, right? But it's really not, because sometimes when we're dealing with other people, whether this is a love relationship or not, any significant other in your environment that you are dealing with right now, or whom this pertains to, the onus is generally on what the other person is doing right or wrong, right? And I mean, without a lot of contemplation or examination, I think most of us go about doing these types of things, or the other way that isn't conducive to learning and acceptance and compassion is to just outright berate ourselves. Like, it's okay, we can say, well, we're going to work on ourselves, or take a look at how we're interacting with our environment, or our intentions and expectations, etc. And then instead of just making a list and going through it, we're just like busy berating ourselves. Like, well, what did I expect? You know, that type of thing. And it's like, that's not helpful either. Because it doesn't get to the root of intentions and expectations of yourself and others. So I think a really nice message here is kindness, compassion, or at least a yearning for that. Connection would be another one. Anytime we're dealing with queens, we're dealing with, connections. How do we relate with others? How do people relate to us? Are we making ourselves clear, right? Are we making our intentions clear, and so forth? So I'm just trying to get a jumper here from this deck. What are messages for Sagittarius for April 2018? Just looking for a message for Sagittarius for 2018 in April. Keep thinking I'm going to get a jumper there, but messages for Sagittarius, April 2018. Messages for Sagittarius to thank you. So we're just going to do that with the other decks here. Messages for Sagittarius for April 2018. Hopefully you find this shuffling soothing. If you don't, feel free to scroll ahead. Once you see on the view bar there that the cards have been laid. Messages for Sagittarius for April 2018. Messages, thank you. Messages for Sagittarius, thank you. Right, one of the cards, okay, we're going to see this really clearly here in a second. The eagle, so this is literally spirit. It also could represent the higher qualities of a Scorpio or scorpionic energy, which is literally transformation, life, death, and rebirth. Okay, so definitely, again, right, with every death comes a rebirth, but this is extremely related to this card here, which is also the card of Scorpio as well. So this is our second look into scorpionic energy, or you could be dealing, if that king or woman or man, rather, in your environment is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Sorry, a Scorpio is what I meant to say. You could be dealing with a Scorpio in your environment. Forgive me. Or at least someone who has Scorpio in their first 5 planets. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, or Mars. But this is also the higher quality. I think if you are dealing with a Scorpio, they will be an unusual Scorpio. And if it's anyone having to do with this type of spiritual enlightenment or energy here, then that is a very wise Scorpio indeed. If that's the case, I would consider yourself lucky, Sagittarius, this month. This person has a great deal of information and life lessons to provide to you. If this is something you're tapping into and it's just energy, however, this is very potent energy. Again, with your only major arcana for the spread, it happens to be the death card. So again, scorpionic energy, life cycles, the closing of one door or window and the opening of another. But this is just short of the Phoenix, isn't it, right? So Scorpio is ruled by the Scorpion, but it is the only sign that, well, besides Cancer, its original typography was the turtle. The Scorpio's original typography was the eagle, okay? Because you're supposed to rise above, you're supposed to come through something, okay? Trial by fire, very much so. So lots of transformation energy here. It's also the first card of the deck. It's ruled by the number 1. So, and this is 13, dealing with 4. There could be a foundational issue, something that's going to shake up your foundations here, and something that's going to impact something very distinct to you, something that very possibly makes up the understanding of you that you have of your own self. Here with truth and integrity, yes, absolutely necessary. And here again with our 2 of water, King of water, and then recognition of what's working and what isn't, and gratitude here. You really do. I mean, the eagle isn't going to stand for anything less than truth. It just won't stand. It's not welcome. And then it could be, you know, the death of lies, the death of someone, of a theft, right? And you'll be able to see it for yourself. You might even, similar to the painting here, feel like you're surrounded by goodness, or surrounded by angels, or surrounded by someone in your corner. Very definitely someone in your corner. However, if this doesn't have to do with a spiritual matter, this is something that you're being called to examine and experience in your own life. So truth and integrity is really critical for you right now. It's very critical because what isn't done in the highest sense of self this month looks like, right, because you're in a rush, it looks like it's going to be found out anyway. It'll just make you look foolish if you don't go in that direction. And again, this could have nothing to do with anyone else. This is strictly going on in your mind or your heart. Probably in your heart. There are no swords in this reading, right? and the big red heart here. So it's almost like, are you listening to your higher self? Okay, there is a higher calling here that you know the difference of now that you didn't before. Are you going to move in this direction? Because you're being called in that direction. So that's up to you, right? These are just messages for you. What are you going to do with them is up to you. New life absolutely falls in line here with our death card. Right. I mean, if something falls apart, something new awaits you. She's coming out of a gestational period. Again, I'm going to suggest this is a spiritual bent, if not an emotional one here for you. So a new life awaits you, either a new phase, a new theme, new understanding. But ultimately, in order for that to occur for you, something does have to come to an end. And here with let your friends help you, ask for and accept support from others. I really do see that from at least one other person here. Again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It just needs to be someone that you feel equal with and you know that you're equal with. If that's a friend, it could be a relationship, but relationships are better based on friendships anyway. So, just make sure if this is a relationship issue, you can turn to this person. You can ask for help and support at this time, and it will be provided. And if they ask for support from you right now, you'll be willing to provide that. If you are single, on the other hand, it might be nice to just say, you know what, guys, anyone throwing a party type thing? Do you know anyone? What do you think? Throw some ideas out there. Don't be shy. Again, I think you're walking within circles. Your friendships are very likely going to be individuals who are strong, emotionally adept and intelligent people. So I wouldn't be shy about reaching out for help if that's what you feel you need right now. And then for creative projects, we're looking at maybe getting some feedback from our friends. Maybe if you have a prototype you want to show somebody, find someone you trust and discuss what your intentions and motivations are, and then be open to critical feedback here. If the point in asking for help is to accept it, okay? It's almost like anything here. We can ask for anything all day long, but we have to be able to receive it here. So that is your reading for the month for April. I hope that you enjoyed that. Please look forward to your mid-month check-in and have a beautiful Easter. Until we meet next time, Sagittarius, take excellent care of yourselves. Bye for now.